Hey, this is Daniel from the Blue Corner.
And John from the Red Corner.
And today we are continuing my Top 100 series. And we are going to talk about games 90 through 81.
Through 81,
It always
yes.
throws me off. Don't you
Yes.
want to say like 90 to 80?
You do, but that would be too many. It would, yes.
Jinx.
How about that?
All right. Well, if you didn't get to watch my last video, go back and watch it. Also, we did a video with John recounting his top 10 from 2021. So check that one out as
That is
well.
true. That is true.
But
This is all about Daniel.
That's right. I love it. It's best when it's about me. Okay. Sorry. We're going to jump into number 90. All right. So my number 90 is Liar's Dice.
Liar's Dice. Okay.
Yes. One of the first games I played before I even got into the hobby. But I was like kind of an adult at this point. And it was because of Pirates of the Caribbean. They played this game in the movie, and they came out with a Pirates of the Caribbean Liar's Dice. That's right.
Yeah,
and I fell in love with this game. This game makes me laugh so hard. Sometimes, I will admit, have you ever played this game?
I've played games like it. I've not played the exact Liar's Dice.
Sometimes I wonder, hearing other people talk about it, if I'm playing it right. Because somebody will always say, I don't like this game because you have to lie.
You don't have to lie.
No, and you're not even saying what you have. The whole
You're
point
just
of this
bidding.
game is everybody rolls 5 dice and they hide it in a cup, and then you're looking underneath the cup and you're seeing what you have. And I rolled 2 2s and 3 3s. Sure, why
That's
not?
not a bad roll.
So now my goal is to predict what is on the table, so I can use my information to help me be more accurate, or I can go, I think there are 5 6s on the table. I don't have any 6s.
No.
John doesn't have any 6s. So John's like, oh man, Daniel must have 6s if he's so confident in that.
Yep.
So John's like, 6 6s. And then Andy's like, I have 5 6s.
Oh, there you go.
So
he
he's
thinks
like,
there's all these
he's like, there's 10 6s. And then
Yep.
Chris has 0. So Chris is like, there are 10 6s out here. There's no way. So he calls it. Andy reveals he has 5. And
nobody else
and
has
nobody
any.
else has any.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I thought.
Yeah.
So it's about the odds of it. But what's every time you call a number, either the face of the die has to go up
Or the
number
Yeah.
has to go up. So I could also, if Andy was not confident with John's 6 6s, he could actually say
7 3s or something.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then he said 7 3, so that tells me Andy probably has 3s and I have 3s.
There you go.
So when it gets back to me, I'm going to go back to 3s, and that's
Yeah.
going to put Andy in a tough spot.
Yeah.
So really clever game, and we laugh so hard when we play this
Yes.
game. It is one of the most enjoyable
Somebody does
experiences.
some ridiculous bid. Like, well,
Right.
there must be 12 threes then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then somebody's like 13 threes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what is going
Whatever.
on?
Yeah.
But if you're wrong, or you call somebody, or you get called, you lose a die. So
Yes.
it does dwindle as the game goes on.
Oh, that's how that one works?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the last person
right.
standing
Oh,
with
okay.
the dice wins.
See,
So
the one I played the most is Spoils of War, which has
okay.
the same, but I don't think you ever lose your dice. It's just whoever wins, I think, gets the first pick of the different
okay.
stuff out in the middle and stuff like that. So you're collecting treasure and such.
Yeah.
So, but it uses that mechanic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
which is a
mentioned
fun
that one
mechanic. It's
before.
a fun mechanic.
yeah, we need to play that Spoils of War as well sometimes. But yeah, Liar's Dice, simple. You just need a handful of dice, 20 dice, and a cup. So anybody can play it. But
Cool.
Liar's Dice. All right, my number 89 is another drafting game. We've established in our
cool.
last one that me and John really love drafting
We
games.
do.
I'm not sure if I made you play this one yet, because again, this is an older one.
Okay, probably
And
not.
this one is Medieval Academy.
No.
This one is really cool because you are there are like 6 little boards that deal with characters in the center of everybody. And what you're drafting is a number for one of those characters. And you are trying to go up on the... So we're going to draft all of our cards first. And then we're going to take turns playing it, and one card we won't play. And then when we play it, we're going to play like a 3 squire, which is like the red guy or whatever. So, well, actually, it's not red. Doesn't matter. 3 squire. So we're going to move 3 on the squire track. Well, the squire says, if you're in the lead, you get the most points at the end of the round. And then John plays 3 on the princess track. So he goes 3 up on the princess track. And the princess says, if you're in the lead, you get to move any token you want up 2 spaces. So each character is going to be doing different abilities on their boards. So you might focus on the beggar and not losing points, or focus on the dragon and getting all the points at the end. Or you might focus on the king, and every two rounds he gives out points. So there's always different ways to do it. But what's kind of fun about it is you draft all your cards and then you play the cards in turn order. So I play one card, then John plays one order. So you kind of know what everybody has, and you're also waiting to play. It's like, I know John had that blue 5, but maybe if I don't play my blue 5 until the very end, he doesn't think I have it, and he never plays it.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like getting inside their heads, trying to trick them, and when you play, but it's a really quick, easy game. Plays in about 30 minutes. But yeah, Medieval Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to play that with you.
Sure, why not?
My number 88 is on here, and it potentially could go up higher
really?
if I ever play it correctly.
Okay.
And that is Ragusa.
Ragusa. Really?
Yes.
Okay. Haven't heard about this game for a while.
Yeah. So
I've enjoyed it.
You have. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Every time I teach it, I always usually teach it wrong. And what's tricky about it is you are building these buildings and these little, like, hexes. All right. And then this hex, when you build a building in this hex, you get a special, like, a resource or a power. But everybody else who build in that hex gets it as well.
Yeah.
So when you're the first one there, it's like, well, you don't, like, great, you got something. But now everybody else who plays there will also get something. And if you have 2 things there, you get 2 things.
Yeah.
And it's a hex, so there's only 6 options. But that cascading can be kind of confusing. And every time I teach the game, I screw up the cascading. And what usually happens is, like, I say, like, this one will cascade, and then this one also cascades. Because you also, when you play, you, like, play within, like, a sector of 3 hexes, so you're actually triggering 3 things at once.
Okay, I forgot all that part.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you're trading goods. It also has a really interesting, like, how you track resources. They give you, like, a little square card, and when you gain a resource, you just rotate the square card. So I got 1, I got 2, I got 3.
I forgot all that.
Yeah,
it's been so long since I played it.
I know, right? But it's a fun game. You're building a wall. You're building buildings. And it's a combo building game.
Yeah, I mean, it's largely abstract.
Sure,
but
I mean, you're building a city.
Yeah, but I mean, just
why
how
it triggers
everything works and all that stuff. Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, so I've butchered the teach on this so many times that my pool of people
because it's not thematic, so it makes it hard to teach.
It is true. It's not very intuitive, but I don't have.
But it is a good game. I'll give you that. It is a good game.
Pool of people who want to play a game with me because I keep screwing up the rules each, and they're like, "That wasn't good." I'm like, "No, it's better than that. I promise."
Funny.
So, all right, that was Ragusa.
Ragusa.
All right. My 87 is Marvel Dice Masters.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could show it to you guys, but I
Is
have
that what all
a
that
tower of Dice Masters in the corner of my room here.
Yeah.
This was a derivative of Couriers, which was maybe the first not deck building game.
Okay.
So Dominion came out, Legendary came out, Ascension, all those came out. They were all cards. Well, then this game called Couriers came out, and you used dice, and you put dice in a bag, and you pulled out the dice, and you had cards on the table that said what those dice were, and you could change out the cards to change out the power of the dice, but the dice stayed the same. Well, Couriers took that mechanic, and they actually turned it into a collectible card game, and they made it a 1 versus 1 type of game.
Mm-hmm.
So now in Couriers, you would take it out, and you would hit everybody for 1. Well, this one now you decide, like, oh, this one's going to attack, but this one's going to defend, so I'm going to hold this one back. But you essentially, for Dice Masters, you are going to build your 8-card deck that stays out here. So you have 8 cards, your opponent knows exactly what they are, and then you assign how many dice you want each of those cards to have. So as you roll dice, some of those dice will have money on it, currency, and that will let you buy the dice from here. So, like, I can buy from Rogue, or I can buy from Gambit, and I put them on my bag, and then later on I can roll it, and then if I roll a certain face, I can look at Gambit's card and says, when I roll this, this is what happens.
Gotcha.
And then it's just a back and forth game. You're trying to kill the other person, deal 20 damage. Really unique. I love this game. If I had a community to play this game with, it would be higher on my list, but I just haven't played it in years. I keep holding out that maybe my kids will like to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy actually enjoys playing it with me. I gave him all of my extra doubles. I had more than that, if you can believe it.
But just staring
but
at
we
it.
never stopped and actually built anything and competed against each other.
I gotcha.
So I want to do that sometime. They eventually came out with campaign boxes and made it like a living card game instead of collectible. So that changed some things as well. So it's technically better to play now, but Anyways, I don't even know if it's a dead game. I finally stopped getting it. The reason I have so many recently, though, is in a math trade. I traded something garbage away for like
a whole bunch
10
of them?
more things. Or it was like 5 more. It was half that stack. Anyways, Marvel Dice Masters. Check it out if you like 2-player versus games.
There you go.
86 is a fun little abstract game. It involves elephants and tile laying.
Nice.
So yeah, and drafting.
And drafting?
Can't forget drafting.
Okay.
That's right. So did I say the name yet? It's
No, you
Kerala.
did not.
It's Kerala. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. But what you are doing is you're drawing tiles from a bag. And if we're playing 4 players, we're going to draw out 4 or 5 or something like that. And then we each take turns taking one of the tiles. The tiles are going to have little elephants on it. And you play in a color. So you place it next to where you have a elephant meeple. So it has to be adjacent to your elephant meeple. And what you're trying to do is trying to clump the colors together. So if I have a red tile, I want it to be by other reds.
Makes sense.
Because if I don't have them next to other reds, I only score the highest group, and the other group are negative points.
Better dead than red.
That's what they say.
Yep.
And then anytime you lay a tile down, you move your elephant on there. So like if your blue is on this side and your red is on this side, and you keep playing a bunch of reds, you get further away from your blue. It's what happens if you end up with a blue. Oh no! So you kind of want to build in a way where you can get back to the other one quickly. But this is just kind of a chill game. It's very abstract. It's just an abstract game, but it's just fun. I played this one with my mom. I've played that one with my family a lot, but I've played it with gamers too. There's a real hefty game in there. There's also tiles that are like multipliers that are like, if you have, it's black and red, so it needs to be attached to a black, but also near the reds. So there's like just unique tiles. There's also tiles that let you pick up your elephant and move it somewhere else. So if you did get stranded, and then you can also cover up tiles so your elephant can walk backwards, but then you don't get the points of the thing you covered up.
Gotcha.
So a lot of fun choices in this game. I'd recommend giving it out, and it's very pretty too. It's like a red box with these little shiny elephants on it.
Okay.
So.
All right. Never heard of it.
Cool. All right. We're going to go back to our 2-player attacking games.
Back to the Future.
I wish.
Okay.
Actually, kind of. This game originally came out in the 90s, did not succeed, and then got relaunched later in like 2012, 13, 14 time.
Okay.
And that is the Verse System 2-player card game.
Oh, okay.
That is the actual name, Verse System 2-player card
Yes.
game. But it is a Marvel-themed trading, was a trading card game.
Themed.
Yeah, you're right. They did mix them all up and everything, but I got into it because it was Marvel.
Yes.
And it's just, a 2-player attacky game. But what makes this one different from Magic and Dice Masters and Keyflower?
What makes it different, Daniel?
I'm glad you asked. Is you have a leader. So let's say you want to play as Magneto. You have Magneto here, and he has 6 life points. Well, you have to attack Magneto 6 times, but Magneto can only be attacked once per turn because when he takes damage, he flips upside down. So what I think is cool about Verse is, unlike a lot of these other games, is you are going to get at least 6 rounds of combat. Like there's no way to speed it up to where you can't build your engine out quick enough or anything like that. So like you are going to get a definitive this much life.
Gotcha.
But you can also use your other guys to block damage. And this is a game that also has like different, I forget what the term is called, but flanks, I guess, or something like that. Like you can put somebody in the front line who protects the back line.
Okay.
But if you have range, you can shoot past the front line. But if you have flight, your front line can go hit the back. But if you have flight with range, then you can do whatever you're Superman.
Yeah.
And you can do whatever you want.
Yep.
That's right.
And you're Dark Phoenix.
That's right. All right. Verse System 2-player card game. All right, my 84 is another oldie but a goodie, and that is Blokus.
Oh, or Blokus. Some people call it Blokus.
Some people call it.
I don't know if it's the English.
I don't call it Blokus. I call it Blokus.
Yeah, Blokus is what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. If you speak the proper English, my English, Blokus.
Wow, that's proper.
Yeah, that's proper. Okay, but yeah, no, Blokus is a great abstract game. You're laying down little Tetris-like pieces, and you have to touch the corners. You can't
That's
be
what it is.
adjacent.
Okay.
And why that's important is because you're on this little board here, and you're trying to play all of your pieces, but eventually you're going to run into other people. And if you could just place adjacent to your pieces, it wouldn't be a game. It'd be really easy. You just make a little block and you're fine. But because it has to be in the corners, you spread out really far. But what's kind of fun about it is you can kind of jump into a gap that your opponent has made because they can't be adjacent.
Yes.
They have to be in corners. So it's just really fun to kind of weasel your way in there. Again, this is a game that I play with my family. My youngest, who doesn't really like games, actually loves to play this game. He loves to play with the game too, but he will actually sit down and play the game with us too. But I recommend it. You can find this one at Target. It's kind of a mass market game, kind of, but not really, because it's not Monopoly, so it's not mass market. All right.
That's funny though how you talk about how he likes to just play with the game.
Yeah.
That was my oldest used to do that sometimes when we play a game and I'm about to put it up. It's like, actually, Dad, can I just fiddle with it for a while? That's what he used to always say.
And my kids, I mean, they do
this.
this.
The game they like to fiddle with. It's always fun.
Yeah, my kids, they do that to the nth degree. They do not like to play with toys. Don't know why.
Oh, funny.
They
love that's the way Jack was too.
To play with meeples.
Yep.
Keyflower.
Oh,
Guys,
yep.
Keyflower. They love it. They dump it out and they play with the little meeples and they jump on the tiles.
Well, if you'd ever get them any action figures or anything.
Maybe then don't get me started. I have like a freaking bucket of action figures from my childhood. I'm like, play with them. And they're like, no, I'm good.
Nah, give me a maple.
That was Blokus.
Yes, that was.
All right. 83. This is one that was featured on the show.
Oh, yes.
This is an exciting one. It's Sidereal Confluence.
Ooh.
Did I say it right?
I think so.
Hey, good for me.
Or Sidereal.
Yeah, it's Sidereal Confluence.
Yes.
Sidereal Confluence. I don't know.
Something like that.
This game is a pure negotiation game. It is just a blast. Every player plays a different faction, and they all generate resources in a different way. And some will generate things that only this faction can generate, which means you have to trade with each other to get the stuff you need to build your planets, to build your ships. So it's just this pure negotiation. The game actually, even if you're not a negotiation person, probably shouldn't play this game. But one of the reasons people don't like it is because sometimes they don't know how to value things. But the game even comes with a little chart that says this thing is the equivalency of two of these things.
Yes.
So you can actually go, okay, this is a fair trade. Or I can go, John, I know you really need this. I know this is a fair trade. Give me one more. I want it to be unfair.
Yeah. Yes.
How much do you really want it? Like, there's one faction that I like to play, and it was like, if you didn't trade with me, I could just steal stuff from you. So I'd be like, this is a fair trade, but if you don't trade with me, I'm just going to take the thing you need.
Yeah.
So give me 3 of them instead of 2. We good? Great. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So there's just really fun combinations you get there. It is a little lengthy game for what it is. Really hard to teach too, because every faction plays so different. So you've got to have people who have buy-in. Actually, you kind of cringe when I said it was a long game. It actually wasn't as long as we thought, right?
Well, I was wondering if because I've only played it the one time, and that's when everybody was being taught the game. And going in, I was expecting it to be more complicated than it was. Yeah. And so I'm like, no, wait, what's the game now? Yeah. This is it. This is what we do for real. And I just have to know what I do. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Trade your resources, upgrade your planet.
Yeah, just everybody has to know what their thing does. Once you know what you do that's different than everyone, then it's really not that. So I was wondering if subsequent plays were as long or not. Or
yeah, I think they went just as quick. So they were quicker even.
Yeah, so I'm saying. Yeah. I would hope they would be. But yeah, great game. I would agree with you on that one. Yep. One that I had no intention of ever playing, but we were at that TrevorCon.
Yep. And we wanted to play for the show too.
If I'm ever going to play this game, then this would be the time to play it. And had a great time with it. It was, and as I usually am with these kind of games, like I want to play again, but I want to be the same exact faction I was. Yeah. Because like I always want to really play the same one until I really feel like I know it so well. But yeah, great game.
Cool. That was a Sidereal Confluence.
Yes.
Sidereal.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right, 82. You're gonna approve for this.
Oh, good.
One. This is and actually, John, this is gonna show you how highly I regard my entire list.
Okay.
Okay. This is a game that you enjoy a lot.
Okay.
This is a crossover. It's a drafting game. Your number one game of all time, maybe one would say.
It's a Wonderful World.
It's a Wonderful World. Okay. At 82. I really like this game.
This low on the list,
yeah,
though.
but these are good games.
That's
you
a
know
very
it.
good
Like
game.
this game, I liked enough that I broke my rule of buying it,
You
even though
did own it for a while.
Even though you had it, I just recently because
Yeah.
I never played it because of my rule. He has it. Why
Yeah.
would I buy it? So I was
Yes.
stupid, but I liked it that much that I
Yeah.
did buy it, and here it sits at 82. So, but Wonderful World is a engine building game. It can be compared to Seven Wonders, kind of, but not really.
No.
You're drafting these cards and you're using these resources to build the card. What kind of makes this game really unique and special is that when you generate the resources, you're doing it collectively all together. It's like in order. So like I'm gonna do the grays first. So I produce my grays and I fill up my cards that need grays. Now if I finish any of them, they immediately go into my engine. So now if this card had blues on it, when I get to the blues, I actually get to use that because I just finished it. Just really cool engine building in this game.
And the beauty of it is what makes it hard to teach, as I've said before, because that is so hard for people to realize. So wait, I just built it. I can get those now? Yes, because we hadn't collected those yet. And when, if you build something that produces green. Now, if it produces green and gray, we've already done gray. You're not going to get the gray.
But you can get
the
the
green. If it produces green, then you're going to get the green.
That's right.
But, or the science.
Science.
Not the materials. You're going to get the science.
It's green. So,
yes, that's the beauty of the game. And that's what makes it so awesome.
If you like drafting
games, you're trying to set up, okay, I can have a really huge round if I can get this built in time for this build. And you can use things as wilds or whatever. And, sometimes you have to sacrifice cards to get what you want done.
Yeah, that's a nice mechanic too. If you draft something you really didn't want, well, you can get rid of that, and they have a waste cube that you can use to then put on another card. If you like drafting games, you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't played this one. This one is top notch. It's a wonderful world, and it's a great dystopian game.
Yeah. We'll let that land.
Next one is 81, and in my last 100 to 91 video, I said I had a top game of all time in that list, and it was Heroes Wanted. Well, this number 81 also used to be my favorite game of all time. I know they've dropped.
Fallen.
That's right, but you know what the problem was? Big box effect.
You got the big box?
I got the big box. Never
so
played it again, and that is Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Didn't that just come out not so long ago?
Oh, no.
The big box?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll get to that. Okay. So Sentinels of the Multiverse was this game that came out. It was like one of the first Kickstarter games that I played. And it was incredible. It felt like I was playing Marvel Comics, even though the heroes were generic heroes, but they actually built backgrounds for these heroes, and it was immersive. They built this world, and it was wonderful. When you played Legacy, you realized that this was like the Captain America mixed with Superman of the world, and you knew he did not like Baron Blade, and they had this rivalry each other, and even in the story they eventually kill Legacy, so his daughter becomes Legacy, because Legacy, the whole idea is there can only be one Legacy, so it always goes to the next generation. So when Legacy dies, then daughter of Legacy, so female Legacy, whatever you Legacy, just her name is Legacy, becomes it, which means you play with the same deck, but you got a new hero card, which slightly changed how you played. So there's a lot of just really unique things in here. It was a pre-constructed deck, so you didn't have to worry about deck building or deck construction, and it was cooperative, and it played really well. I played this game for years and years and years. I loved it, played the life out of it, but then it got so big, and I got the big, and I got the giant box so I could store it all in there, and this thing was giant. I kind of think it's the first big box effect game. Like, people were like, we want a big box, and they were like, fine, we'll give you a big box, and then they got it, and everyone was like, oh, I want a big box. This is too big.
I ain't pulling that out of here.
It now sits on top of my shelf, and I'm afraid to get it down because I could die. Yes, that's what it is. I could die if I pulled that down.
That's pretty big.
So now, this game is great. So now, this is maybe what you're thinking of. They relaunched this game.
Yes.
And I am very angry about it, guys.
Uh-oh. Why is that?
I backed it because I was like, why not?
What?
It's the same flippin' game. They were like, well, we stream, because one of the criticisms is it's very fiddly and there's a lot of things to track. And they're like, we're going to relaunch it and we're going to make it less fiddly and less things to track. They didn't. Really? I don't care what you guys say. I know, Brian, you watch this show and you're probably going to argue with me because you're the biggest fanboy of Sentinels Multiverse ever. This new set is not easier.
Really?
They just republished it so they can make more money. And when I looked at this, I was like, this is stupid. And then you're like, okay, well, it's just a reprint, so I'm not missing out on anything. oh, no. Then they decided, we're going to change some of the characters. We're going to add new characters. So it's like, now if you want to be a completionist, you actually have to buy an entire another game for minute changes.
Yes.
I'm angry. I do not get angry at companies very often. That was a lot of goodwill that was burned on me.
Wow.
Also, one of the reasons that it's dropped too, not just the big box, but because of just I get very upset when I think about it. But I will say, this is a game worth getting into. Check it out. You will love it if anything like superhero-y, Magic the Gathering-y, if you like any of that type of stuff, deck building, you will like this game. And the new edition is beautiful. That's why I went back to initially.
Oh, okay. So it does look nice.
It looks great. It looks like old-timey comic book, which is like my thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to own it, but I just, on principle, I was like, I couldn't. But anyways, Sentinels Multiverse used to be my #1 game of all time, but now it's sitting in here
81.
at 81.
Wow.
And still a great game. Again, I love my top 100 games,
There
John.
you go. Yep.
All right. Well, that's it for this section. We're going to do this again here in a week or so.
That's
and
it for the 80s.
That's right. And then make sure you watch John's, if you haven't, it was
Top 10 revisited.
From 2021.
That's
you
right.
can see how much John has changed.
Man, have I changed.
He used to have hair.
It's true. Not in 2021.
No, but just once upon a time. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Let us know if you like any of these games. If you think any of them are rubbish, tell me what you think of Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Rubbish. Good word.
Rubbish. I like that word. But you know what's not rubbish? This show.
There you go.
So until next time, we'll see you around the board.